bro. I'm low-key faded, bro.
Highway.
What's this guy supposed to be, the ultimate badass?
They ain't ready. They ain't ready, Jim. They ain't ready. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Almond Rock here, guys.
What is it? You ain't Mexican. What is that?
I missed it a little bit though, so I did dig a little deep in there, right? But yeah, he did that. Hey, what's up, everybody? Today is the Frisco Report, and we're coming at you talking about the Cowboys' day one of training camp. A lot of news coming out today. And like we said, we do have a special drawing today. You will be entered into a contest, any super chat, and you will be entered into the free T-shirt of the Dallas Cowboys, cowboysblog.net, and I believe Cowboys Corner is giving away something as well. So, like I said, any super chat, you'll be entered into it. Just provide us your mailing address, and we'll get that out to you. But we are back at it, hoes. We're back at it, dude. We're back into talking about the Cowboys. Training camps here. Mike, how you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling fantastic. I'm doing fantastic. It is Tuesday. You know what that means? The Frisco Report. All right.
The FriscoReport.com. Everything Cowboys, everything FriscoReport.com. We got everything there. Go check it out. The FriscoReport.com, bro. All right. Mike, the day of days is finally here. The kickoff, the training camp action on the field today. And you know, you were pretty on top of today's happenings. I was getting your text messages. So let's turn it over to you, Mike. What was the highlight today's camp? What did you take away from the action today?
Yeah. First of all, Dallas Cowboys. There we go. Any super chat gets you in the drawing right there on the screen. Here we go. So Dallas Cowboys signed a defensive end, a linebacker, James Houston. All right. The guy in his rookie campaign had 8 sacks. He's just been hurt 2024. He recorded 1 sack and then he got cut, went to the Cleveland Browns and didn't get enough playing time. So that was the first one. Mozzie Smith, Joe, they got him. Losing more weight, all right. Mozzie Smith's going to be a toothpick at the rate he's going. Defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus wants the defensive tackles to get upfield, all right. They're projected to be a 0 tech. They're projected to be a 3 tech. And so Mozzie Smith is going to be a slimmer Mozzie, all right. You look at Turpin was able to is in the backfield. All right. He took 2 handoffs in the backfield today. Deuce Vaughn, speaking of handoffs, Deuce Vaughn was the 3rd string playing with Will Grier and that crew where he belongs. So Miles Sanders, Devontae Williams, Jadon Blue were getting the number 1 reps. There's a lot of rotation there. All right. You look at Trayvon Diggs. I know Joe made a video on it today. Trayvon Diggs, he's on a short leash. There's no room for error. Trayvon Diggs and the Dallas Cowboys have a lot of friction, okay? You know, Trayvon Diggs' feelings was hurt. Trayvon Diggs was docked $500,000. So if Trayvon Diggs and the Cowboys, if they don't mend their relationship, you look for Trayvon Diggs as soon as he's off the PUP, as soon as he's off IR, if he starts the season on PUP or anything like that, and he gets off of it, he could be a trade candidate. All right. So Trayvon Diggs' leash is about as tall as Deuce Vaughn. All right. Marshawn Nealon had a nasty pick against Dak Prescott in the 11-on-11 drills. He made a fantastic play, tracking the ball, getting it, and hyped up the defense. Okay. And then Milton. He was throwing some dimes and he was throwing some overthrows, all right? The deep ball, I know it's the first practice. It wasn't there. But if Joe Milton can keep this practice up, Look for Joe Milton to shine like wine, okay? And then you look at Micah Parsons, what his comments was today. There's really not much movement, he says, on contract talks. I want to be here, and at the end of the day, they signed the checks. Let's see if they want me to be here. I'm doing this for myself and for my teammates. This is not for Jerry. So Dak had the same energy 2 weeks before the season, and within 5 days, Dak Prescott was signed. Micah Parsons is using that same energy with Jerry Jones, arm length business. All right, and that's what it is. That's all the report I have for you today, Joe.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's touch on this Michael Parsons contract. Obviously, it's much to talk about, but he is under contract, right? At the end of the day, he is under contract, so we know that he will play this year unless he wants to hold out and miss game checks, which I seriously doubt he'll want to do that. So, he'll be there.
Uh-oh. All right, well, we got that here. Nick Stones, $9.99. Got you entered in the drawing. What's up, guys? Y'all are the best in the business. Thank you. I appreciate that. We got Mike in here with one of the best moderators in the game right there, Javi Nation. Our team looks good after the first practice. Dallas Cowboy fan 1980 in the building. We got Nate Dogg, Frisco Report. I wish I didn't have to work, says Nathaniel. Al says, woo, all right. But we do got a super chat for the drawing here, all right?
All right. It's good, bro. It's good. So he's in it, Nick Stones. What's up, guys? Y'all the best in business. Thank you, bro. Thank you very much, man. Can't do this without you guys, man. Mike, this whole thing with Micah, though, how do you think this is going to drag on through into the season? Or are they going to sign him?
I think he'll get signed within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks. So another thing that I forgot to add here, Micah Parsons, for not fully being a participant in practice, Jane Slater reports that he's listening to his body. When his body feels right, a.k.a. when he gets his money, he will practice. He is experiencing back stiffness, all right? I have talked to a few guys that were at training camp today. Micah Parsons shows no sign of back stiffness. He is running around with the team. He's not participating in a lot of the drills, but he is showing a lot of back bend and momentum and showing no signs of back stiffness. I wanted to reach out to guys that were there and see if Micah Parsons was taking it easy or was he out there having fun, and he was out there having fun. I say within 14 days from today, Joe, Micah Parsons will have a contract.
Yeah, it seems like there's something, behind the scenes they're obviously not going to say. Bring him along slowly, so a slow ramp up, and then when they get him going, the contract's there, preseason, this kind of thing. I don't think he'll play in the preseason either, though. But, as far as like the other news of the day, Mike, Pickens, bro, out here making plays as well. Like that, the little wrinkle in the offense that you mentioned, Turpin taking the handoff. These are little things that do get you excited. Something different, something that we like to see in the offense. But, What I'm wondering about is going to be this, all right? The pass rush. It feels like they're still trying to get people in here as far as like for depth, or in case Micah does hold out, or for whatever reason. How are you feeling about the edge rush potential for the Cowboys? As we head here into camp and into the season.
I'm feeling good, believe it or not. I like our – we got Dante Fowler, Marshawn Nealon, Donovan Ezeraku. We got Sam Williams is working on the sidelines today. I'm not really concerned with the pass rush. What I'm concerned about, Joe, is the interior. Mozzie's losing weight. Solomon Thomas hasn't been great in his career. You look at, the best defensive tackle we got is Oso Digizua, who's coming off a fresh contract, right? I need to see a lot of things from the interior. Edge rusher, to me, it's really not a concern for me at all. With or without Micah, if you have good interior, you're going to have good exterior on that line. It's all about the trenches, baby.
Speaking of that, I think, there has to be a conversation as far as like, why the hell is your one tech losing weight? He's no longer a one tech? You know, in my eyes, like he was already kind of light. Now he's lighter. What is he, a linebacker? Like, you know, like what are they doing with Mozzie Smith? Is this like a last ditch effort to see if they can do something with this dude, or like what is it, Mike, in your opinion? And everybody in the chat box, what's your thought on this?
Yeah, Matt Eberflus wants his defensive tackles to go upfield. All right, that does nothing for your running game unless they have a jumbo package and that Mozzie's not going to be in. And in these late defensive guys that they drafted, maybe those are their maybe that's their jumbo package, right? It sounds like they're trying to get Mozzie, to go up speed, get the quarterback, something that he's never done, not even in Michigan, and try to do what Osa does, do what Simon Thomas does. 2 different positions, well, 1 versus a 3. And I need these guys to figure this out. But this only works if you have some type of jumbo package, guys. That's it. And the ticker down below, guys, any super chat, get you in the drawing. You get a cowboysblog.net shirt, and you get this right here that's hanging on Cowboys Corners wall right here. This Troy Aikman picture, all right? Any super chat will get you one of these 2 items, all right? Any super chat.
Yeah, of any amount. Okay. So my concern is this. I mean, to me, it's sounding like they want to make him a 3 tech. So, where is the true 1 tech on this team going to come from? Is he not on the team right now? Is there a behind the scenes trade in the works for a woolly mammoth 1 tech? We don't have one right now.
There could be, Joe. I mean, and you look at the trade candidates. You look at the guys that they're not happy with, all right? Terrence Steele, Trayvon Diggs. Those could be your trade candidates. One of either could be your trade candidate to get that mammoth, that Baconator, that double bacon, triple cheeseburger in here, Joe. That could be the trade bait.
It very well could be. I broke it down yesterday. The trade value for old boy is not as high as people would think. You know what I mean? So my question would be like, where do you get this 1 tech from? Eberflus has had a couple of stays here, obviously with the Colts and the Bears. Does he have something that in the works as far as like, hey, this guy worked really good for us as a 1 tech. Let's bring him here. Let's make a trade. I need him. You know what I mean? I think we need to solidify the 1 tech position there, dude. That's a red blinking light screaming. It's just like, people talk about, a cornerback, which is another area too, but that middle of the defense has been haunting the Cowboys for a long time, Mike.
Very long time, and it's been since the days of Anthony Spencer, Jay Ratliff, Anthony Spencer, DeMarcus Ware, Jay Ratliff, these guys. I mean, we haven't really had anybody really, to do it. Nick Hayden, remember Nick Hayden? Josh Brent, remember him? We've been farting with that position forever.
Yeah, they sure have. Mike, from the news of the day, we get a look at Deuce Vaughn there, looking shifty. We've seen this before, right? I mean, we've seen Deuce Vaughn do this in camp and even in the preseason. What is it about camp that people need to be like a little, not hesitant, but to be, just like with a grain of salt type of deal? Is it this types of clips that you see? To me, it is. But what's your thought on that, Mike?
Yeah, no, it's the first day of practice. There was a lot of high energy that what Schottenheimer's bringing is the up-tempo practices and stuff. Obviously, you see that. But when it's the first practice and you see Deuce Vaughn zizzing around everybody, it really doesn't move the needle for me, all right? He's 3rd string. It's where he should be 8th string if you ask me. It just doesn't translate, Joe. There hasn't been a guy other than Sean Payton to use a guy his size. Sproles was 5'6". Deuce Vaughn's coming in at 5'5". Sproles' best year combined was 800 yards. It's really hard to use a guy this small at this caliber. I wish him the best. I really do. He's trying his little heart out, pun intended. And I just don't understand the hype. I don't understand it. Oh, Connor Riley was his coordinator and head coach over there at Kansas State. I don't care.
Mhm.
This is a big man's league, and if you can't run the ball, which he's shown he hasn't, then it's time to move on.
Yeah, no, it's a prime example of what we're talking about, right? As far as like, all the clips, they're coming out, people getting beat, people making plays, some of it is good to see, like I do want to see Tyler Booker out here mauling people. I do want to see that, right? Because it shows, that your first rounder is that guy. You know what I mean? I want to see, the interaction with Pickens and Lamb in that offensive set, right? So there are those where I see the plays. I'm like, okay, I like it. But then there's the other ones where it's like, okay, this is just camp body, camp fodder type of stuff, just minuscule type of on the periphery, right? So that's where I have, stuff like that from Deuce Vaughn, and your low end wide receivers. I don't really buy too much into those either. The guys that are like hanging on by a needle, But the quote of the day, Mike, is this, right? Is physicality. Brian Schottenheimer keeps saying that there's no theme. We're just going to be physical. Every drill is going to be physical. I mean, I gotta say, man, I do like that. It is refreshing. You know what I'm saying? Because the Cowboys always had to manufacture this fake physicality. I remember with Garrett, it was like, "Oh, padded practice, physical. We're gonna," and it was like late in the season.
You got to fight.
It's too late, bro. Like you got to have that physicality in the beginning. You can't fake it, manufacture it. Like I do like that, man. I gotta say, I like what I heard out of Schottenheimer on that aspect. Mike, what's your?
Yeah, I'm going to jump into the super chat. Mike Bolana is officially in the drawing, guys. Any super chat amount will get you in the drawing. A Cowboys blog T-shirt, and you'll get a Troy Aikman picture here. 4,209 edition right there. Okay. Hey, guys, I appreciate you always telling the truth. It's frustrating that we always wait until the last second to sign our star players. I really hope Micah gets extended soon. Mike, I just gave us a 14-day timeline. Micah's using the same energy that Dak used to get Dak signed. So look for Micah Parsons to be signed within 14 calendar days. Book it, all right? But no, man, you bring up Schottenheimer, who I was drinking the Kool-Aid early just because I was listening to – you talked about no theme, no problem, right? It is refreshing. And what Brian Schottenheimer has shown me from the press conference up until now is that he will be different. And he has not lied to me yet, Joe. The practices, from what I've seen, were up-tempo. There's no stupid theme. Jerry's not going to make $1 billion on fight T-shirts and Carpe Almania and all this other stuff, 2020 vision and rooted, right? We're not going to have to worry about, as fans, we can just relax and watch our team and not have to worry about buying the next trend T-shirt, right? So this is very refreshing on a fan side. And this is what I expected from Brian Schottenheimer. From the moment we got introduced to him as our head coach till now, he's interacting with this player. He's a Pete Carroll, a Dan Quinn type player. He's a player's coach. Players, coaches, they know how to win in this league because they get the team to rally for them. And, George Pickens so far, and I'm knocking on wood as I say this, so far was a problem child. I put that in quotations for the Steelers. And everyone's saying he's a fantastic teammate because that's the culture that we're building here in Dallas. He just has to overcome Jerry.
Yeah, that's what it is. And it is a work in progress. This isn't just something you flip a switch and say, oh, the culture's changed. We're going to, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is something where I think it goes more than a season. I think you give it 2 seasons and it's got to be the real deal. But it is a work in progress. You know what I mean? And I'm interested to see the progress of this culture change and, how the players react to the coaching. How do they react to winning and losing? You know what I mean? There's going to be finger pointing or is everybody a band of brothers? You know what I'm saying? That's what you need. At the end of the day, football is a team sport. It is you go to war, you build a camaraderie. You know what I mean? I think with that camaraderie, Mike, you know how it is. You played the game before. You have to have the camaraderie. If not, there's one crack in the armor and the whole thing can fall apart. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. No, 100%. We talk about a lot of individual players, whether that's success or downfalls, but at the end of the day, this is a team sport and everybody has to be on the same page. Everybody. And what I like about this no theme too, Joe, is there's nothing corny that the veterans and the leaders have to push on this team. They can just go out there, relax, and lead natural and not say, oh, come on, we got 20/20 vision. Oh, come on, we're rooted here. Let's go. They don't have to worry about corny crap like that. They can just be themselves and not have to rely on a theme. And that's also going to help the locker room.
Mm-hmm. Yes. That's what it is there, Mike. Cowboys, working out players. We mentioned Houston, edge rusher. They did look at Jesse Lakuta as well. I liked him coming out of college, Penn State. I thought he had a good career, and I thought he was impactful. At the next level. So I'm kind of surprised that he didn't make the cut. But they've brought in some other players. So it's good to see that they're not just waiting and standing around. So I think that there is going to be some more news on that front, Mike. Especially with this news about Mozzie losing weight. I mean, I just cannot. I can't see that as like good news for somebody that's a one tech. Someone's supposed to be your trash can and gobble up the running lanes and let your linebackers go to town. You know what I mean? So if that's the case, our linebackers are in for a long ass day. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. Like I said, the only way this works is if they have some type of jumbo package with bigger guys. And I mean that's it. If it's 3rd and 10, by all means, I get it. If it's 3rd and 1, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know what we're doing. So it's just the first day. We got to see more. Maybe they see something down the road that we don't see, Joe. But knowing the Cowboys, I doubt it.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just feels like there could be something in the works. We got White Cotton, former D lineman over there with the Jets. You know what I mean? And then you have Eberflus. These guys, they like their D linemen. So, could White Cotton have something up his sleeve as far as like, hey, let's go get Quinnen Williams and be like that monster 3 tech. I think if you have a monster 3 tech, your 1 tech, he can be average. You know what I mean? But we don't have that right now. We have decent 3 techs here. You know what I mean? And nothing that really scares anybody. But that puts more pressure on us as far as having a legit 1 tech, which we don't have that either. So work to be done there. Where does that trade come? When does it happen? Does it not happen, bro? Like if there's no movement there on the defensive tackle position, Mike, as we get through camp in the preseason, what will your concern level be?
Big time, because one of the stick out linebackers today on the guy that I was talking with that was there at Oxnard today was Jack Sandberg, number 57. He was out there, very noticeable, making plays. All right, coming in with Matt Eberflus. But when you look at Sandberg, Kenneth Murray Jr., Maurice Luafau, who was also pedal to the metal today, was not taking practice lightly. Was out there just drenched in sweat from working hard, playing hard. When you don't have that interior where it needs to be, that puts so much more pressure on those linebackers where they have to think, hey, can I trust Mozzie right there to stop this run? Or they overshoot the gap, and next thing you know, they're beating us from east to west, Joe. We've seen that plenty of times where we get sucked into the middle so much that they're just beating us on the edge. So it's very concerning. Sound the alarms if they don't get this thing fixed.
Yeah, no, not only that, but you think about a player like Overshown, who supposedly is going to be playing sometime this year. If these big gargantuan centers and guards are mauling the crap out of him, he's going to have a short-lived season, bro, maybe career. You know what I mean? So they got to protect these players, bro. So get it done, front office. I would say from the news of all of today and then everything, that's it for me. You know what I mean? Is this whole thing with the 1 tech? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they need to figure it out. They need to figure it out fast.
Let's talk about the running backs, right, Mike? We're talking about, first day camp. We saw Deuce with the backups, which that's where he should be. He should be in any contention, just a camp body. But as far as Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams, Jadon Blue. So these guys, they were getting the majority of the snaps, Mike. How do you think this plays out as camp progresses? Is there going to be somebody that leads the pack and says, okay, I am part one of a two-headed beast? You know what I mean? Who could that be?
During this whole offseason, I've been underselling and overlooking Miles Sanders, the veteran. All right. There's been a lot of excitement from coaches. And you look at what Miles Sanders was able to do in this offseason with his body and getting right at that age, at that veteran. We've seen how Zeke took care of his body, and you turn around and you look at how a guy like Miles Sanders taking care of his body. It's night and day different. That translates to success in the NFL. And when I'm looking at that and I'm looking at what the coaches are telling sources here, I apologize to Sanders. I think Sanders could separate himself even from my pet cat, Javonte Williams. And I think the first guy to really take this thing off would be Miles Sanders.
Yeah, I'm hoping that somebody does make that leap. You know what I mean? That way we're talking about, the number two guy. You know what I mean? Would it be Javonte and Jadon Blue? I don't see Jadon Blue going anywhere. You know what I mean? Maffa. You're not hearing much about him, bro. Not even the coaches didn't. Actually, they even skipped his name during the press conference yesterday, which I was like, is he in some sort of doghouse? Like, did they just forget about him, or what's the deal with that one there? So I'll be watching that. I think Maffa, I think a lot of people fell in love with him kind of like they did with was a one dude that we got from Alabama that one draft. Everybody fell in love with him, and he just
Scarborough.
There we go. Scarborough, dude, didn't do shit, bro. So could he be more of a practice squad candidate? I'm wondering. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll let camp play out in preseason, but pretty quiet on the Maffa front, Mike.
Yeah, it is. I was overlooking Phil Maffa. Danny Savage, the Graph Guru, he's been on the show a couple times. He piqued my interest on him at what Savage was talking about Phil Maffa, so I went back and watched. That's my type of running back, over 6 foot, big physical guy. He needs all the reps in the preseason. So if he's playing a lot, he has to take advantage of every opportunity. And you only got 3 chances now. You don't have 4 like you used to, Joe. You only got 3 chances, and Phil Maffa has to make every chance count.
Yeah. The other and to me, Mike, was that not too surprising. I mean, all the talk that they had about Trayvon Diggs yesterday in the press conference seemed like Trayvon was in the doghouse as well. Trayvon showed up. He's here at camp as well, following the Micah Parsons playbook. Just saying, I'm glad to be here. I like to be on this team, and saying all the right things, Mike. So I'm interested to see where this goes, with Trayvon Diggs. We're already short in cornerbacks, you know what I mean? And like we mentioned earlier, would he be a trade candidate? Possibly. This is a storyline to be watched very closely. You know what I mean? Do you take one position to improve another and go weaker, or what do you end up doing here? Do you end up just keeping Trayvon? To me, I would like to keep Trayvon here, and have him as a 1-2 combo with Deron Bland. I think that's a pretty damn good secondary, you know what I mean, in my mind, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. We got another super chat here by Mike. I don't blame Micah for being angry. Jerry completely disrespected him, and the fact that he still hasn't gotten paid as an organization and failure. There's never one offseason where there's no drama on this team. And Jerry started that drama, Mike, in that press conference, overstating that he missed 6 when he only missed 4 games.
Right.
And Micah, sent the letter right back saying, I'm not here for you. I'm here for my teammates. You write the check. If you want me here, you'll write the check for me to be here. So Micah Parsons, or should I call him Michael Parsons? Because even Jerry called him Michael Parsons, not even Micah. Can't even get his first name right. So a lot of tension there. We'll see what happens, but I get 14 calendar days. This is typical Jerry Jones right here. But thank you for that. So far, we got Nick Stones ×2. We got Mike Ballerano ×2 for the drawing here. Any super chat gets you into the drawing, guys. A T-shirt and a Troy Aikman photo. All right. All right. So Trayvon Diggs, Joe.
Yep.
You know, because these young corners, Chevelle, Elam, Bland, these guys are going to get a lot of reps. Kalen Carson, these guys are going to get a lot of reps. If these guys can play well and play consistent, I'm still on on trade Trayvon. I'm still on that train. If these guys show me that they can play consistent. Now, if they go into preseason, they're getting burnt like toast, let's keep Trayvon. Because we don't get no benefit trading them unless you get like a bolster player in here, right? And so an impact player, you know. But if these guys can't hold the fork down why Trayvon is gone, why he's still getting healthy, there's no need to trade them. But if they play good, I'm all for it, Joe.
No, so that's a good point, man. And I think the preseason will be the big tell, right? Because I remember in training camp, you know, the Kalen Carson got a lot of hype, and he was making plays in camp. But once preseason came in here, it's like the light was too big for him, dude. Like, honestly, and that happens, right, Mike? We've seen these players where they're, you know, the camp darling, right? What's his name? Tolbert. He's one of these darlings. Kalen Carson was. You know, and then when the lights come on, where the hell are they? One play for 2 yards. You know, getting burnt on the deep, you know, or even on slants, whatever you want to call it. So I want to see that, man. You know, like which of these young kids is going to step up when the lights come on, and who's going to crumble again, Mike?
100%, Joe. You know, Joe, I give props to you and credit for you because, you know, you always say, hold on. Let's see if they can handle the lights. I mean, Joe's have talked about that ever since 2003. All right. Let's see when the lights are the lights too big for him. All right. That's Joe's thing. That's what Joe's been preaching. And right now he's doing it this year with these corners. Kalen Carson. We've seen that the lights are too big for him, right? Chevelle Rebel, the 3rd round pick who was supposed to be very high. Obviously a knee injury set him back. Elam with the Buffalo Bills. Maybe those spotlights over there in Buffalo were too big for him. Will the Dallas spotlights, how are they going to work for him? So a lot of evaluation. This is just first practice. It's exciting. It's excitement. We got football back. It's August 9th is right around the corner, the first preseason game, right? But we're all here, but we have to take things realistically, all right? When we got to look how these corners play in these preseason games.
Yeah. We're going to get a look at the blue-white scrimmage, which is going to be July 27th, Mike. So I think that if possible, we'll do a report that day, Mike, and that's going to be on what is that? That's on a Sunday, right? So July 27th, the blue-white scrimmage. We'll see what the availability is, Mike. But it would be something good to break down the blue-white scrimmage. You know, it will be streamed live on DallasCowboys.com, and then we can break that down, Mike, if you're available. I think we can talk about that either way, Mike. But that is a good little part of the journey for the young rookies as far as like the blue-white scrimmage is the closest thing to a game. They also have the practices with the Rams, I think it is, right, Mike?
Yes, sir.
Do we know what dates those are that they're practicing with the Rams?
I think the Rams it's the day before the blue and white scrimmage, I think.
And I think
very soon.
I think that practice is going to be interesting to see. You know, the level of competition. Is there going to be fights breaking out left and right? You know what I mean? I think that's going to be a fiery practice, in my opinion. I'm expecting it to be. If this whole competition thing that Schottenheimer's talking about is what they're building here, well, these guys are going to want to compete and beat, these Rams, even in this, there's practices. So I could see some of those skirmishes breaking out here and there, Mike, which is not a bad thing. As long as nobody makes any real knucklehead, moves, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we obviously got to play smart. They got to play clean. They got to know, what the heck to do and stuff like that. I'm looking at the schedule now. It looks like August 5th is the practice with the Rams.
Okay, August 5th. And so your August 9th is the first preseason game, if you can believe it, Mike. That's almost here. Preseason game number 1, August 9th. So right around the corner. This schedule is just going to fly by really, really quick. Yeah.
No, it is. It does happen fast. Next thing you know, we're going to be in the middle of the season, and fans are going to keep saying, "Oh, we still got time." All right, Mike with another super chat here. It's names entered 3 times in the drawing here. It really annoys me that other fans are getting mad that Trayvon's not rehabbing with the team. It's 100% justified because how awful the training staff is.
It's 100% the truth, Mike, and credit to you that has really brought this to light. That's been the case, and I think this is going to be a good case study. We're going to get to see it in action. If Trayvon Diggs looks, good to go and ready and in shape and this sorts of thing, he made the right decision. Even if it did cost him $500,000, he probably shouldn't have had that in his damn contract, but he did. So we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, man, I think it's something that he probably saw from other players that came back from injury. Like, wait a minute. These guys did rehab here and they fell apart and got re-hurt and, had some setbacks. I'm going to do something a little different. So I'm not mad about it at all, bro, honestly.
No, you can't be mad. As a fan, you can't be mad at Trayvon. Look, the report card, the D-, players have been screaming for trainers, physical therapists, they're ranked 30th and 31st in that category. Look at that. Oh, young Dion right there. Ranked 30th and 31st, in the league. So they're at the bottom when it comes to physical therapy, when it comes to training, staff and room and stuff like that. That's not good. That's not a good look. Trayvon absolutely did the right thing, training away from this team, getting him right. He trusted his staff better than he did Bitt Brown and Dan Cooper.
Yep.
You look at Michael Gallup, you look at Jabril Cox, you look at a lot of these guys who tore their ACLs over the last 5 years, and they haven't been the same. And that's so sad because this is their guy, this is their livelihood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's a true thing. And Mike, like I said, you brought it to life, bro, and it's gonna be good to see how it shapes out for him, bro. Another little news tidbit that has come out of this is that supposedly Sam Williams is in the best shape of his life. Schottenheimer says that he looks good to go and this sorts of thing. This is another one of those, I'm going to take it with the grain of salt type of deal, right? Like, I like to hear that, right? Don't get me wrong. But I want to see him in live action. Sam Williams is a guy that I have to see get the snaps and use your head and don't extend the other team's, plays, convert off of knucklehead plays. So I got to see it on the field for Sam Williams there, Mike.
Yeah, Sam Williams hasn't proved anything in this league. Been hurt, boneheaded penalties. And it's only he's a free agent now, just like that. And no fan has said, you know what, that guy could be a double-digit sack guy. No fan has said that just because we haven't really got to see him. And when we did see him, he left a bad taste in our mouth. But I wish him the best, and I hope he plays good. I need him to play good. And that's just what it is.
Yeah. he does give the Cowboys some of that edge rush as well. You know what I mean? So we'll see if he can clean things up, and maybe he had the epiphany this offseason. We're like, okay, now it's time to grow up. It's time to get the sacks going and play smart football, because he is in his I think this is a contract season for Sam Williams, Mike. So he's either going to make money or he's going to end up being just one of these guys that just travels team to team, just camp to camp, making a livelihood that way. So we'll see what direction he wants to go to, Mike.
Yeah. No, it's going to be interesting to see. I think a lot of these guys who've been hurt with their franchise, they hardly ever sign again, and they go get a fresh start somewhere else. Looks like Sam Williams on that track.
That's what it is, bro. So that's training camp day one. We will have more of these updates. There will be more news coming out as we come along. We're gonna see more of the installation. As far as like what they're doing, we saw a little bit of that there with Turpin today, and Jake Ferguson, obviously. Oh, Fergie, where is he gonna be at? So tight ends will be another one that we'll look at. So we'll see how camp looks the rest of the way. Mike, I think it's drawing time, bro. It's drawing time for the Cowboys block foil shirt. You are going to get a foil shirt. Now, the sizes only go up to 2XL, for my shirts, Mike. And then I have to go all the way to small. So whoever wins this shirt in the drawing, Mike, please provide your address, and I'll get that shipped out to you. And you should have it, by the weekend, Mike.
Yeah. And Troy Aikman. Look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. That could be yours. Look at all the lights I got in here.
It's a beautiful thing, man. Let me see if I can find the I'm trying to see what I used last time. I think it was like the wheel, right?
Yes.
Let's see if I can find it, Mike. While I look this up, if you have any other comments want to talk about, we can go over that while I get this going here.
Yeah, no, guys, look. It's first practice. Obviously there's going to be excitement, but let's not anoint anybody yet. All right, still got a long way to go, but we could talk about Schottenheimer and how he's hyping up his team and how he's managing his team and how the culture's getting set, just something a little different. Playing Kendrick Lamar, getting hyped up, and they run it all through practice.
How many did we get of each? We had Mike and Nick. I think were the two that were.
Yeah, Mike and Nick. Nick times 2. Nick times 2. Mike times 3.
Okay. All right. So let's get this going here. We'll get this spinning here. All right. Let's see if we can share the screen here, Mike, so we can do the drawing here. All right. One drawing will be for the shirt, and one drawing will be for the Troy Aikman. So 2 opportunities here. All right. Last call. Any more super chats? Any prize? You can get into it. So last call before we get this going here, if you want to get into it. But for now, let me go ahead and get this shared out, Mike. We'll get this going. Share the screen.
Yeah.
Share screen.
Where'd you steal that from? I didn't steal that from nowhere, champs. Cowboys kid.
All right. So here we go. We got Mike Berlin in here 3 times, and we got Nick in here 2 times. So the first spin will be for the Cowboys blog.net foil shirt. It's got the blue. You can either pick the blue with the white foil or silver foil, or you can get this white one with the blue foil. So when we announce the winner, just let me know, man, and then get your address out to me. So here we go. This is for the shirt, Mike. Here
Let's
we
go.
All right, Mike. My brother, you got yourself a cowboysblog.net foil shirt. So that's good. Let's remove that one instance there. So now this is going to be for the Troy Aikman, bro, which I'm jealous. I think I'm going to do a super chat and get into this. All right, here we go. This is for the Troy Aikman. Here we go. Good luck, everybody. Oh, wow. Mike Balerna wins this one as well. Good job, Mike. Nick, appreciate the entries as well. Appreciate the super chats, man. It's really what it's all about.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate the super chat for sure.
But we do like giving these away. We will have some more of these throughout camp. I have an inventory that I'm going to be giving away here. So, be ready for the next shows, guys. We'll have more opportunities for more winners. Mike, if you could get with us offline and get us your home address and what size shirt you want, what color you want, navy or do you want white, let me know and we'll get that shipped out to you, Mike. I do appreciate you very much, and thank you very much, Nick, for your super chats.
I'm gonna miss it.
Yeah, that's awesome, bro. I like that one indeed, bro. All right, Mike, I think that's all we have tonight. Shout out to everybody that watched live and on the super chats and in the comments. Thank you all. Be sure to hit the bell notification so you get notified when we go live or when we drop a video. You know what I mean? It helps us stay in the good graces of the almighty YouTube algorithm, the devil. All right. So, Mike, let everybody know where they can find you if they haven't already, bro.
Yeah, Cowboys Corner right here on YouTube. If it wasn't for me going live today, I would have dropped the video. I'm going to try to upload daily content right here on the tubes. So make sure you hit the notification bell, guys. Hit the notification. It seems like I got to yell into a camera to get views, all right? Hit the notification bell and let me get some views so I don't have to yell, all right? And I don't want to yell. I don't like yelling. It's not good. But Cowboys Corner right here on the tubes. Hit the notification bell.
All right, Mike. Appreciate you, bro. The best co-host in the business. That's Mike, Cowboys Corner. Make sure you give him a follow. Follow his channel. Everything he's got going online. Guys, that's all we have tonight. Appreciate it. We'll see you for the next update for training camp. See you on next Tuesday, bros. Peace, everybody.
Peace.